I call Lloyd for their first speech. I generous.
I couldn't hear that.
Up to 7.5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Deputy Presiding Officer. It is a privilege to make my first speech in this debate, and let me start, as others have done, by thanking my predecessors, Graham Day and, of course, the late Andrew Welsh, who were both formidable voices for their communities and for Scotland. As Angus South's MSP, it is a real honour to represent the beautiful, diverse communities that I know and love. My pledge is to always put my constituents' voices at the heart of everything I do in this place. Presiding Officer, this debate is about ambition, and ambition begins at home. Members may know that the Declaration of Arbroath was written and sealed in my constituency. It was a statement of Scotland's nationhood, but also of Scotland's confidence, the belief that this country had the right to determine our own future. This Parliament was an ambition once too, the ambition to bring power closer to home. People campaigned for it, argued for it, marched for it, and voted for it. And now it is here, in the words of the late Winnie Ewing, a Parliament that we can build a dream on. Now, I have not known a Scotland without this place. That's a privilege for me, but it is also a responsibility to ensure that this Parliament lives up to the ambition of those who fought to bring it into being. Presiding Officer, when we talk about ambition, we so often talk about the destination, the Scotland that we want our children and our grandchildren to inherit. But ambition doesn't begin at the destination. It begins with bairns waking up for school, looking forward to another day of learning. It begins with parents working hard to give their family a better life. It begins with young people able to get to university without tens of thousands of pounds of debt. Our ambition for Scotland should match the talent, wealth and energy of Scotland itself. That means no longer accepting a system where our resources are abundant but our powers are limited, where our people are ambitious but our choices are constrained. The mandate given to this Parliament is not just to talk about ambition, it is to act on it, in people's lives, here and now. But a mandate is not just a number on a chart, it is not just a line in a motion. It is built from conversations, on doorsteps, on high streets, in schools, community halls and homes across the country. Over the last year, I spoke to thousands of people across Angus South. In our towns, villages and glens, I listened to people tell me about what they worry about, what they hope for, and what they want Scotland to become. And what people told me was clear. They want a government that understands daily life, a government focused on improving it, a government with the ambition to match their own. And that is exactly what this SNP government will be. A government that understands that ambition is not a word and a motion. It is what people are trying to build at home, at work and in their communities. In the business able to grow, in the farm able to keep producing, in the family able to pay the bills, and in the young person who can look at Scotland and see a future as ambitious as them. That should not be beyond us. A country with our talent, our resources and our energy should be able to give its people security and opportunity. But, Presiding Officer, under Westminster, Scotland is too often left doing more with less, paying higher bills from our own energy, watching wealth leave our shores while communities are told to wait, forced to fit our ambition to choices made elsewhere. That cannot be as good as it gets for Scotland. That cannot be the limit of our ambitions for our country. Presiding Officer, independence is not just a slogan. It is the power to put Scotland's wealth to work for Scotland's people. And I ask this, why is it that in a house in Glenisla, pensioners cannot heat their home in an energy-rich nation? Why is it that people in Arbroath can look out of their window at turbines in the North Sea and yet still face bills they cannot afford? Why is it that Scotland produces the power but too often sees the wealth flow elsewhere? The answer is not that Scotland doesn't have the resources or the skills or the ambition. The answer is that we are denied the power to use them. Our wealth is extracted, our workers are discarded, our people are told their wishes don't matter. Scotland can do better than this, and Scotland should not need permission to do better than this. And that is why we must have a fresh choice on independence. Not because of identity, history or just for its own sake, but to improve the lives of the people who live here. And that is what this debate is about. Power with a purpose. The power to build a Scotland where, in the words of Hamish Henderson, "Are the bairns at Adam can find breed, barley brie and painted room." But not just poetry, a promise. A promise that Scotland's wealth will serve everyone who makes Scotland their home. A promise that no one is held back by poverty, insecurity or decisions made elsewhere. A promise that this country can become what every good home should be, a place of safety, dignity, opportunity and hope. Living well with our neighbours on these, our shared islands. Members, that is the ambition that we carry, and that is the future we must deliver. Thank you very much.